Go, 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 go.
Folks, welcome back to another episode of The Fallen Badge. Today, the murder of Trooper Carlos Warren, Texas Department of Safety, Texas Highway Patrol. Trooper Warren was 30 years old. Now, he had 12 years of experience in law enforcement. He was a United States Army veteran. Now, he'd been a trooper for 5 years, and he was assigned to Region 6. Now, he had been a special agent with the U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Command. He'd done that for about 7 years. Now, he had a fiancée. His mama and daddy were still alive. He had 2 daughters. He had 3 brothers. Now, the information for this case is going to come primarily from the appeals court for the 147th District in Travis County, great state of Texas. It's a little after midnight on March the 5th, 1991. Now, there's 3 brothers, and now they have kidnapped a fella at gunpoint from his house. And I take it this is right here in the Austin area, because this is going to take place just outside of the city of Austin, Texas. Anyways, they snatch this fellow up and they drive him out there to a park there on Highway 71, just east of Austin. Now, the 3 brothers, they had decided this fella had done broke into one of the brothers' car a couple of days earlier, stole about $1,200 worth of stereo equipment. So they got him out there in the park, and they got him a .380 caliber pistol. And they got it pointed at the kidnapped victim, and they're telling them they want their property back. Now, I don't know how far along they had been in these negotiations, but they see some headlights turn into the park. Now, it turns out that's going to be Trooper Warren. So he's driving through the park, and he sees this car sitting there. Now, the trooper, he pulls up somewhat beside the vehicle. Now, he's on the passenger side. Resource material doesn't say it, but I take it that the Trooper Warren probably didn't pull up right side by side with him. He probably stayed back just a little bit in his car, because he threw his spotlight, lit up the inside of the car. Now, the suspect that's going to do the shooting, he's in the driver's seat. And one of his brothers is in the front passenger seat. And the other brother, he's sitting in the back with the kidnapped victim. Now, the shooter, he tells everybody in the car to just be cool. He said he would get us out of this and not to worry about it. And that's according to what the victim would later say in his statement. Now, this next part of the events that occurred, I'm taking these from a statement given by one of the brothers. And this is the brother that's sitting in the front passenger seat. So he says the trooper walks up. Trooper Warren asks him, "What are y'all doing?" Now, the shooting suspect, he tells Trooper Warren, "Well, we're just taking a break from traveling." Now, at this time, Trooper Warren, he is on the passenger side front window. And Trooper Warren's using his flashlight, and he's lighting up the interior of the vehicle as he's talking. Now, Trooper Warren, obviously being a good police officer, he figures there's a little bit more investigation that needs to transpire before he just drives off. Because it is kind of unusual to see 4 fellas sitting here in the park. So he tells 2 front seat occupants, the shooter and the shooter's brother, he says, "Y'all need to get out of the front seat real slowly." Now, it should be mentioned that when the trooper had first pulled up, according to one of the suspects, it was several minutes before the trooper actually had gotten out of his vehicle and approached the suspect vehicle. Now, I'm pretty sure that was probably Trooper Warren running the tag on the car, which is a very prudent thing to do. Now, since Trooper Warren's done run that tag, he knows that vehicle's registered here in the Austin area. So when that fella tells him they're just tired from traveling, well, he knows that's a fib. And these four men sitting in this car, he knows there's some kind of tomfoolery afoot here. Alright, so he's asked the two front seat fellas to get out. And the front seat passenger, one giving this statement, says that he was getting out real slow because he said he was real scared. Now it turns out this fella giving the statement, the suspect in the front passenger seat, he had had the gun with him right before the trooper had gotten there. In fact, when the trooper pulled up, he had it because it was his stuff that had been stolen out of his car. So I take that to mean evidently he was leading the interrogation of the kidnapped victim. Now, according to him, he took the pistol and he threw it under the seat. Well, now, according to him, Trooper Warren, he started walking around the front of the car to the driver's side, and he stopped somewhere right around the headlights. Now, according to the suspect giving this statement, he said the trooper stopped near the front headlight, driver's side. He said it was like the trooper forgot something. He said the Trooper Warren turned around, and he kind of turned and was looking at the car, and it looked like he was going to go back to the passenger side. So that was just a second or two, and then he said Trooper Warren walked over to the passenger side headlight area. And he said when Trooper Warren got to that point, he put his hand on his gun, and he started to pull his pistol out of the holster. And then he said that's when the shooting started. Now, according to the suspect giving the statement, front seat passenger, he said that it was his brother in the driver's seat that was firing rounds off at Trooper Warren. Now, in this little statement, it doesn't say that the driver's suspect had actually got out of the car, but evidently he had. Now, according to the suspect, when the shooting suspect, he evidently had gotten a pistol, and when he came out of the car, he came out in a hurry. And he's trying to bum rush Trooper Warren. And evidently that's when Trooper Warren had stopped at the right front of the car and started pulling his gun. Now when the suspect fires, he hits the officer in the back. And he gets hit with 3 rounds. Now back then, I don't know if Texas Highway Patrol required their troopers to wear a vest or if it was voluntary or what. Or maybe Trooper Warren had his vest on and the rounds just went below the vest. But all 3 rounds hit home. Now, according to the suspect giving this statement, he said as soon as he heard the shots, he just jumped right back into the passenger seat and closed the door. And said he put his head down. He said as he was putting his head down, he saw Trooper Warren fall to the ground. Now, when they asked this suspect how many times did the shooter fire, he says, I don't know. I heard a whole bunch of bullets. Now, according to this suspect, his brother, the shooter, got back in the car, started up the car, and they start to leave, and they hear about 3 shots being fired. Now, that's Trooper Warren. He's getting off some rounds. Now, those 3 rounds Trooper Warren fired, one hit the front tire because it blew out the tire, and the other ones hit the body of the car. Now, according to this suspect, he said the driving suspect, his brother, is hollering he's done shot her tire. Now, the third suspect, the one in the back, he's yelling at his brother who's driving, asking him, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? And all the shooter would say is, I had to do it because I thought he was going to get us. Now, according to the medical examiner, Trooper Warren was hit 3 times in the back. The bullets punctured both lungs and severed the spinal cord. That they estimate that Trooper Warren would have been dead within just a few minutes. So I don't know what happened to the other 2 suspects or to the kidnapped victim. Doesn't say. But now the shooter, he skedaddled out of Austin and he drove down to his daddy's house in Laredo. Now while he's heading there, he's going through San Antonio. So the police down there, They're going to stop him on a traffic violation. Well, and the officer gets out and goes up to the car. The suspect shoots at him. He misses. The officer fires back and he doesn't. So he wounds the shooting suspect. Now, 2 days later, while he's in the hospital, our suspect gives the statement to the police confessing to shooting Trooper Warren. And they asked him why he shot the trooper. He said, "I was scared and I just panicked." Now, the suspect, he went to trial, was found guilty. Now, there evidently was some kind of confusion with the case, because once it got through the appellate system, it came back down. When it was all said and done, he was not given a sentence of life, no parole. He was not given the death sentence because he's been coming up for parole. Now, he was denied parole in 2008, denied parole in 2017, and it won't come back up for review until 2027. Trooper Carlos Ray Warren. End of watch, March 5th, 1991.